I'm excited this evening to talk about Dave McCune. I've known Dave for about 7 years, and I found him to be a gentleman in the true sense of the word, a man who's gentle and a man who wants to make a difference. Dave is a lifelong Hayward resident, born and raised, educated here, and he's always understood that his life was to make a difference. And so Dave, all of his life, has been involved with different programs in our churches and in our city to help, in particular, the disadvantaged.
Dave, after 24 years, decided to start a new career, and he left his lucrative position in private industry and decided to go into the rather crazy and unstable world of nonprofits. And in that role, Dave has contributed enormously, where he has worked to Eden Youth and Family Center, where he has been the executive director. In a variety of ways, Dave has given back to the community that he loves.
When Dave was program director at FESCO, the family shelter, he was there with his sleeves rolled up, doing anything and everything. When you're a program director for a nonprofit agency, the most important line in your job description is, "and other duties as assigned." He was our resident techno-whiz at a time when FESCO shelter staff were first learning to use computers. He's a trainer at heart and never lost patience, never showed any irritation with getting the same questions over and over and over again, even when that question was something like, "Show me how to turn this thing on again."
We know Dave from All Saints and his activity there, but Dave's been involved with the Catholic community of Hayward in all of the parishes since he was a child, through religious education, through sports, but most importantly, through works of justice. Dave's a person who strongly believes that his Catholic faith needs to make a difference in the world. We've seen that in his work with Hayward Can, when he was one of the original founders of the program and helped all the different congregations come together in Hayward to begin to provide more dignified services and to share resources to help those in our community and city who needed help.
At our holiday adopt-a-family, when we delivered food boxes and gifts to all of our former shelter residents, Dave was right there working beside some staff and a team of volunteers, delivering those food boxes and gifts to families that were no longer homeless, but still very much on the edge.
We've also seen Dave at All Saints work with programs called Just Faith, where he's tried to take All Saints parishioners and college students at Cal State East Bay and help them understand that part of their life work is to bring justice to the world.
And he would dress up for holiday occasions. My favorite costume of his was when he dressed up as a clown, I mean, complete with the face paint, the red nose, and the fuzzy curly red wig. When I first saw him, I didn't know who it was. I didn't know who it was until he started laughing, and then I realized that it was Dave. Of course, you'd never know when he'd turn up in something like Mickey Mouse ears or Giant's regalia, even if that was as subtle as the design on a necktie. Dave's greatest contribution may be in his sense of humility. He has a way of setting people at ease, of finding a commonality with them and then building upon that common element to establish a relationship.
A few years ago, some of us had the opportunity to take a national leadership training course with a little bit of a religious bent. Is you had to take a test to come up with those numbers that tell you what your strengths are. I think many of you may be familiar with that. I don't remember what my numbers were, and I certainly don't remember what Dave's numbers were. But if I were going to give Dave McCune a series of letters, I would call him an RWH, a really wonderful human being.
He has a natural talent for networking and for building collaborations that has served both FESCO and Eden Youth Center very well.
In addition, I know Dave again as a friend, a person who is always there to support you, very gentle in his approach, a wonderful listener. And so tonight, in a special way, I recognize the city of Hayward for honoring him and thanking them. But most importantly, Dave, thank you for all the difference you have made in our lives and the lives of Hayward.